All right. Good morning, Freedom Team. Hope you guys are coming off a wonderful weekend. We are headstrong into the fourth quarter, you guys, going to the second week of October. And for those of you, again, who have not spent a lot of time with attraction, fourth quarter tends to be when most agents move. So even if you haven't started picking up the phone, right now is a good time, man. You're just looking for some of those agents out there that might be a little disgruntled, a little frustrated, or just down about their sales, whatever. So just keep that in mind. Now is the perfect time. So thank you guys for jumping on here. Real quick before I introduce Jack to the group, again, man, we can't quit talking about what we have coming up here October 27th through 30th in Miami. If you have not booked a ticket, guys, it is not too late to do that. And again, we're all going to get together that Monday night at Ole Steakhouse, I think from 5:30 to 7. We're going to have hors d'oeuvres, all that kind of stuff for you guys. So if you're going, please show up on Monday. We're going to have, I bet you there'll be 50, 60 of us plus there that are coming. So we're excited about that. But let's kick off our guest for this morning. We have Mr. Jack Tsai. Am I saying the last name right?
Correct.
I like it. All right. Well, Jack, ready to elevate your real estate business while building active and residual income. Jack has helped agents grow from earning 70,000 to over 800,000 in just 2 years, and he can help you do the same. With more than 15 years of experience in real estate, Jack has earned 500,000 in a single year from selling 32 homes while also generating six figures in residual income. Love it. Now he leads an organization of over 300 agents, and his mission is to help 100 plus agents earn over 250,000 or more every year. Jack's expertise is backed by training from real estate legends like Tom and Mike Ferry, Tony Robbins, Thak Wen, and Sean Kokoska. He also works closely with John Tsai, who sells over 300 homes a year. Together, they've helped countless agents break through and reach six and seven figure success. Let's work together and unlock your potential. So, Jack, you sound like you got it going on, my friend. So we're excited to pick your brain. So why don't we start off here this morning just so we can all get to know you? But anything you'd like us to know about you before you jumped into real estate?
I think the main thing that I would say is I was originally from Taiwan
Okay.
when I was 13. So English is not my first language. And so I want to say if I can do this, anybody can do it.
I got you. So you've been over here 15 years. You got family and stuff over here with you?
Yeah, my sister's here, and I'm married with two daughters.
Okay, fantastic. And let's take off. So when did you get into real estate?
I got into real estate in 2009, right after the recession.
Okay.
And yeah, this 15 years ago, almost
I got
16.
you. Mind me asking, what was your background prior to jumping in to real estate?
So I graduated at UC Irvine.
Okay.
Actually, when I was in college, I was interested in going to the entertainment industry because I like to have fun, to joke around. But my dad was like, "Don't do that. You're not gonna make money." And my dad happened to be in real estate. He was the developer.
Okay.
And so after I graduated in '07, I worked with him for 2 years.
Okay.
Because you guys know 2007 what happened, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So he didn't build anything after I graduated. So I got in, and I also enjoyed the business because I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. I
yes,
wanted
sir.
to invest. I want to get passive income.
Okay. So investing was your main reason for eventually getting your real estate license and getting into real estate was mainly for investing to begin with?
Correct.
Okay. Take us on the journey. So you get into real estate, you're going to go down the investment path. Take us all the way up to the point before you're approached with about EXP.
Oh, from the beginning. So I started because the reason why I got it because I want to know how do I find real estate deals. And I'm like, I think real estate license shouldn't be too hard to get it. I mean, as long as you have a college degree, I think you can get it. You can apply for it. So I did, but it took me 4 times to pass the test. I I did not study the first 2, 3 times. Like, it's not gonna be that hard. 70%, how hard can it be?
Yeah.
And so it took me a couple of times. But after I got it, first 2 year I did part time.
Okay.
But I was just helping friends and family. I think first year I sold 3 homes. Second year I sold five. And then it was the third year that my parents decided to move back to Taiwan. So I had a decision that whether I have to be here or I'm gonna move back to Taiwan and do something. But I was thinking if I were to sell a home here, I think my average commission after company split was like 8,000.
Okay.
But if I go back to Taiwan and work, my salary a month is ballpark maybe 1,500 a month.
Wow.
So I was like,
Wow.
I think it made more sense for me to stay here.
Yeah.
So I did, and then so third year I decided to go full time. And I think this is something I want to share about the rev share part too, though. In rev share or in just in that example, that was the year that I decided I'm gonna go full time and I'm gonna take this seriously. So I signed up for my career coaching because my company was promoting for it. They
Okay.
said you can go to this 3-day event. It's gonna cost you like $300 or something like that. But if you do a deal, they will refund you $50. So as you guys know, I'm Asian and Chinese, so I'm very, very cheap. So I'm like, oh, technically then it's free. I will go then. So yeah, so I went and then I was able to learn. I was like, oh, I learned different perspective, learn, wow, there are agents that are able to sell 10, 20, 50, 100, 200 homes a year. So initially I just want to sell 6 homes. The 6 homes I can make that's about $50,000. And that was good for my standard back then when I was like 26, 27.
Yeah.
But I saw that possibility. I'm like, okay, I'm not that agent yet who sell 200 homes a year. But if I can just do 10% of what he or she do, I'll be selling 20 homes. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's pretty good. I may not be as good, but I can be 10% as good as that person. So that really helped me. And I went from selling 5 to 8 to 11, 13, 15, 18 home, like year on for the next couple of years.
Okay.
But I was kind of stuck there because I was having a long distance relationship with my wife. So I was flying back to Taiwan every 3 months.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were what brokerage were you at right before moving to EXP?
I started at Coldwell Banker and I went to Century 21.
Okay. So you're at Century 21. Okay, take us up to the how were you approached about EXP and what was the reason you made the move?
It was quite simple, actually. Actually, I remember first time in 2018, there was a guy in the office that showed me, hey, did you know there's this new brokerage called EXP? I'm like, what's that? Never heard of it. And then he said, look, and he showed me a YouTube video of like the virtual world. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the hell is this? Working online? What? I'm like, "Oh, whatever. I went busy. I went to make phone calls and stuff. And 2019, I remember one Saturday morning, I went to the office to prospect, look for client. I saw one of my colleagues. She was probably around 60 years old, sells about 50, 60 homes a year in California. So she makes about $500,000 ballpark. And she has a couple of investment property, but I see her grinding on a Saturday morning, making phone calls. And she was telling me that she was going to Ontario, which is about half an hour to the east to show properties. And then going to Pasadena, which is about 45 minutes to the west to show properties. And coming back 40 minutes to Diamond Bar to do an open house. And I was like, no, why are you working so hard? And she says, Jack, in this business, you don't really get to retire. You have to work, you have to work, you have to get investment properties. And then maybe one day when you pay it off, you can retire. And I remember I was 33. And I was thinking, I know that I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, right?
Hmm.
And but I was like, I may need to change the environment because at this office, even if I were to get to one of the top selling 30, 50 homes a year, that's not the life that I want to live. In my 60s, I want to be laying down on my couch or just chilling with my daughter or even granddaughter maybe. So I was like, I need to change the environment. So I thought about going to KW, which is I have a good friend who is there and then who runs a team he's pretty successful as well. I know their broker. So I was thinking about it, and a couple of weeks after, I saw John Tsai make the move. I actually met him at Mike Ferry. He was one of the coach, and he just reached out to me and one of his buddy. His name is Steve Merritt. I also met him in Mike Ferry. He goes, "Hey Jack, you should look into EXP." I was like, "Okay, sure. I mean, you're my friend. I'll take a look at it. I'm not in a rush, so I'm gonna move later in a couple after 2019." So I saw the model and I got into an EXP. EXP is playing call like this. A lot of people on it, and I saw him on it too. So after I saw the stock, I saw the revenue share. I was like, pretty cool, but I'm not interested. I'm not really interested in the stock. I don't really care. Recruiting, I don't know how to recruit. I don't know how to attract people. So I'm not going to be my focus. I just want to be able to sell more homes. And John was telling me, yo, if you were to come, I'll teach you. I'll coach you. I'll mentor you. And I used to pay $1,000 a month for a coach.
Hmm.
And I was like, if I can get somebody that sell over 100 homes a year willing to teach me and coach me, I'm like, what's there to think about? So I made a decision like 2 days after.
Okay, so that's how you made the move over with John. So are you guys business partners, or he's your sponsor?
He's my sponsor.
I got you. Okay, so you first made the move over. So what was your game plan now that you knew this and John was going to start training you? Was he going to start training you not just on how to sell 100 plus homes, but was it also on the rev share?
Yeah, everything, whatever I want to know.
Okay. Well, take us along this. You've only been over here since what, early 2020 or late 2019?
2019, early 2019.
Okay. Walk us through that first year or two. Did you immediately start building the rev share, or how did this all start to transpire?
I would say for me, because I was the first one in John's group that's in California.
Okay.
So back then it was just me. I mean, John does his calls like this. Those are great calls, and so thank you so much again, Sean, for having me here. But
Absolutely.
he will interview people too, and then I will get on the call every week. He did it twice a week. Once for agent attraction. No, sorry. Initially, he only did production training, and also another one that he does like a one interview with another top producer. So I listen to it every single week, and if I can make it, I will listen to the recording. But it was still mainly about production. And being here, I was trying to figure things out. And after a couple months, he started to. He told me that, hey, just go to the EXP explain call every week, and so I will listen to that when I have time as well. But after like 2 3 months, he was just showing me, hey, you know what? I'm getting like 3,000 a month, 5,000 a month. He was only 1 month before me. He joined 1 month before I joined. So I was like, 3,000 a month? That's pretty good. I can pay a good amount of my bills. And
Yeah.
then after like 2 3 months, he go, oh, it's 6,000 now. Oh, it's 7,000 now. And then he was showing me like other people like Grant Goes, rev share check. Cliff
Yeah.
Freeman's rev share. I'm like, what the hell? You can make like 10, 15, like $100,000 a month. So that kind of opened my eye, right? And so I was like, you know what, I can listen to some. So I started to listen to the EXP explain, and I started to think, okay, how did I started my selling home journey? I was like, okay, when I started my selling home journey, I gotta know what to say and how to say it.
Yeah.
And so I would tell him, hey, John, you know what's your agent attraction script? So he just kind of tell me, he was kind of freestyling it too, I could tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
and I tell him, hey, can you role play with me for a month, once a week? And then so first time he did it, I recorded, I wrote down everything. And I started to practice, and I just have it next to me and role play with them. And that was quite helpful. And first year, I think I attracted maybe like 8 people in my group.
It's good.
Most of them are newer, but not my own personal attraction. I mean, some of them are from the agent that's with me already. So I
Okay.
probably personally attract 4 to 5 agents.
Okay.
And second year, it grew to maybe like 30, 30, 40.
Okay.
And then third year, it was the year that broke 100. Fourth, probably 170, 180. And then
Okay.
the fifth year, that was the year I got close to 300. And this year is the year I broke 300.
And so you're in year 5 or year 6 right now?
5.5.
Okay, 5.5. So those numbers right there, I want everybody to hear that because we also do a rev share training, Jack, on Thursday with one of our other leaders who's always kind of walking people through what's that saying? It never grows as fast as you want to in the beginning, like in that first year, but it usually grows faster than you imagine it would in your 5th year, whatever that saying is. So you just will walk me through those numbers again. I want everybody to hear that. So you started off that first year and maybe only attracted 4, but the
Mm-hmm.
team might have been, what would you say, how many on the team that first year about?
I think ballpark 8.
Okay. So think about that for a guy. If we're talking to someone who has over 300 agents now, and that first year, that's all that happened. Then what happened again year 2?
Probably got to like 20 to 30, 30 ballpark.
Okay. So think about that. That's still growing slow if you really think, God, 2 years and I've only got 30 on the team and you're attractive. But then go into year 3, it may ask you out of those 30, by the time you're going into year 3, did you have a couple of those that were also now starting to attract where it wasn't just you?
It was a couple people. I
Yeah.
remember first year, remember the 8 that I attracted? 4 of them left.
Yeah, could be a little
And
discouraging. Yeah.
no, I think it's normal though for agents initially, just because I wanted to attract anybody and everybody. So
Yeah.
out of the 8, 4 of them are newer or even part-time. And but to answer your question on the third year, why did it kind of grew? Because the first year, I remember what I did was I would post on social media like, oh, check out this. Oh, this is cool. The virtual world, how I got help. And I had one agent that actually he approached me, and then I met him like 5 years before, basically 2014, just randomly. He's like a friend, like a agent, like just friend, colleague, acquaintance. And I ran into him in like a stock class too. And then, but was one day he just reached out to me. He goes, "You know, Jet, you're with EXP." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with EXP. What's up? Want to chat?" and then, and then he said, "Yeah, let's talk." And then he said, "I've heard about the company, and then you're the only one that I kind of know, but that's in the area. I'm kind of interested." So I talked to him for a little bit, and I did a 3-way call with him for a little bit, and then he joined. He joined our group. So third year, he brought a team over.
Mm.
Uh, the team that he used to be on, 12 people, and then the team leader of that team brought another small team here. And just out of this guy, his name is Kerry, a good bro of mine. I think he has maybe like 130 people under him.
Wow. So of your 300, you got one guy that's brought 130 in some of
Ballpark.
several teams. Yeah,
Yes.
that's that same thing about just believing in your mind and knowing that if you just keep doing this, one, it's going to grow slow to begin with for most people, but you just don't know who's the person that could change your life. So this one guy's brought 130, which is probably, I'd imagine that's an 8 to $10,000 a month just from that one contact is probably what's
Ballpark.
coming in, which is
Ballpark.
incredible. So today you have what, just over 300 agents, and how many, you mind asking, how many people have you attracted total person?
Uh, I have probably 60,
Okay.
but currently FLA 44.
Okay. 44 FLA and how many FLQA?
24.
Good for you. Okay. The goal, I'm
Thank you.
assuming, is to get to 30 by the end of the year. Is that kind of what
Yeah,
you're shooting for? Yeah.
yeah.
Good, good. So 300 plus agents have recruited about 60. One person's accounts for about a little more than a third of your organization. So take us today up to speed now. You've got a nice sized group. What does your day look like now when it comes to attraction? Do you just set aside a certain amount of time or how do you work it in?
My day is quite different, especially on year 1, year 3, and right now.
Okay.
So year 1, when I started, is again my focus on production. I
Yeah.
was stuck at 15 to 18, right? That was I really want to break that 20 deal mark. And so actually first year I spent 90% of my time on selling homes.
Okay.
Every day that I did for the first year was I call 1 to 2 agents a day.
Okay.
That's it.
Interesting.
And I
Okay.
remember when I first came to EXP, I was pretty excited, right? I'm like, oh, get to learn from John, pretty cool. And I was in the business for 10 years. I was like, I know some agents, some good friends, some I went to night ferry with, and just like some people from my old office. I'm like, I can talk to them. I'm like, if I'm not gonna talk to them, somebody else will. So I might as well call them. And I remember when I first joined, first week, I called maybe like 40 of the agents that I know. 40. Uh, everybody say no.
Okay.
Because I was EXPing on them. I was
Yes.
like, oh,
Yeah.
this is good, this is that, come, come, come.
Yeah.
And but as I learn more, it's not about EX like just vomiting EXP on people. It's getting to know where they're at and what are their pain points,
Yep.
right? And so first year, majority of my time was selling homes. When I think it was the third year, yeah, that's when we opened up our branch office in City Industry. So that was the year I started to spend a little bit more time. I broke 100 agents, so I spent a little bit more time on kind of helping out the office. Like, let's do this event, let's create this training. It got a little bit messier, but I started to call maybe like 3 to 5 agents a day.
Okay.
And John started to have his mastermind like this. I would listen to Sean to host that mastermind. So yeah, just 5 agents a day, but we started to do more events. We're actually gonna be doing one this Friday. I don't know if you guys know Matthew Ferry, but he's Mike Ferry's son, who's really good at teaching about mindset material.
Hmm.
So we're gonna have him come here and do a live event. And typically, the live event that we do have ballpark 150 to 200 people that will come.
You just invite from in the area in your complete city and stuff, just to reach out to anybody, everybody you guys know, or is it social media post, combination of all that?
Both, and then we do some social media ads for the event.
When you do an event, I don't know if anybody else is thinking this though, and obviously it's production training. Do you guys try to work any XP on the back end? What do you do to?
So we used to when we first started, when we had our grand opening. I actually had Brand Golf came down. I was like, I'm gonna do a grand opening. Like, can you come like help us like talk, speak something, and then like, cut the ribbon? And he was like, which date? I'm like, February 25th. And he checked. He said, yeah, I'll be there. I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's a multi-millionaire every year, multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
He said he will come, and then so I picked him up at 10 o'clock at the airport. He came, do his thing, and then he flew back at 1 o'clock just for our event. And I thought that was very, very cool. So what was your question again?
Well, I was just curious when you did the events, if things have changed. Like,
Oh,
is it all production
yeah,
focused? You try to work in EXP because a lot of us do
yeah,
different kinds of events as well.
yeah. I think both are okay. Initially, I did both together. We'll coach about something and we would talk about EXP explain. But after that event with Brent, he's like, you know what, just coach people. You don't mention about EXP. And so which is what we've been doing for the past 3 years. And we just do the event, and then afterward we will reach out to them.
Gotcha. Okay. Um, so today, take us back. So today, are you spending an hour a day on attraction? What does it look like today now that you're 5 years in?
So this year is quite interesting. I hired this because my rev share grew, and I have some money. Well, not a lot, right? But I have some cash flow coming in, and I'm the type of person I can get lazy if I see their money coming in. And I wanted to grow. I wanted to grow my group to go over 1,000 people, 22,000, 3,000, even 5,000 down the road. So I I have a vision. Like, okay, even when I first started, I'm like, in 5 years, what do I want? So I remember 5 years ago, I was telling my wife, because that was the time I asked my wife to come in and work with me. And I told her, hey, you're going to be working with me for 5 years. I'm going to build this EXP thingy. I'm going to sell home. We're going to create system and structure. And then in 5 years, we're going to hire somebody that can replace you. So not both of us in this business, because if both of us are, then we can't ever go on vacation.
Yeah.
So that's what happened 5 years ago. And so 5 years was up, and I was kind of setting my vision for the next 5 years. I'm like, in
Mhm.
5 years, I want to get out. I want to be able to chill and work because I want to work, not because I have to work. So March of this year, I hired this guy, Daniel. He used to be the operation manager slash part owner for this KW in our area.
Yeah.
So I had him come in, and he's been helping out on the agent traction and also setting up system as well. So my day is like today, later on at 9 o'clock, he's actually coming over. And also with my team, we're just gonna be working on the things that we want to work on.
Okay. And so you got somebody kind of helping you with the attraction and so forth right now. So what does your day look like? What does your week look like for us to understand?
Uh,
Are
I
you
will
okay?
still, yeah, I will still prospect some, maybe like 5 to 10 people a day. And
Okay.
I will be creating video content, having meetings with the team. My role is more of like the person who sets a vision, like this is what we're gonna do, and then putting the right people in the right place. So I would say I probably spend just an hour calling people, and then other than that, just meetings, Zooms, going on to meeting with agents and clients.
And these phone calls you're making, are these from people that have shown up to these trainings? Are some of these cold calls? What do these group of prospects look like?
Mostly people who I've done deal with, or people who I met before. I don't really, yeah, I don't really code. I can, but yeah,
Gotcha.
I learned go for the lower hanging fruit first.
Yeah. Yeah. People you have relationship with. So do you mind kind of sharing what does that phone call sound like? So somebody you've done a deal with, do you
Yeah,
mind kind of sharing what does that phone call sound like when you reach out to them?
sure. You want to role play with me, Sean?
Yeah, love to.
Okay, cool. So ring ring.
Hello.
Hello, Sean. Hey, this is Jack Tsai with EXP Realty. How are you today?
I'm doing good, Jack. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, we just closed the deal 2 weeks ago. I just want to say it was a pleasure working with you. You're very, very professional.
You know what? I appreciate that. Same to you.
Awesome. Hey, do you have just 2 minutes real quick for me to ask you a quick question?
Yeah. I got about 2 minutes. What's up?
Awesome. I got a quick question for you. And if your answer is yes, that would be fantastic. And if your answer is no, totally cool. We're still friends and colleagues, and we'll do more deals together in the future. I'm gonna make it very straight because I really respect your time. Okay?
Okay. Appreciate it. All right.
Awesome. So, Sean, if there's a way that you can keep more money in your pocket, more of your commission in your pocket rather than giving it to a broker, okay? And at the same time, having ownership, like stock in your portfolio. And lastly, being able to have 8 different ways of earning income. Are you open-minded to look into the opportunity?
You said 8 different ways.
Correct.
Yeah, I'd be open. I don't have time now, but I'd definitely be open to hear about it.
Awesome. Yeah, I also got an appointment and running at 8:30 anyways. So what would be the least hectic day for you this week that we can chat for 15-20 minutes?
Yeah. And then you set the appointment. So Thursday, Friday morning, whatever. So that's your opening, bringing up the transaction and then asking if they'd be open-minded to keeping more of their hard-earned commissions, maybe growing some stock in their portfolio.
Mhm.
And what was the third thing?
Uh, okay, so this script I learned from because I go to Sean Kokosa's mastermind,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
that's his script, the 8 different ways of earning income.
Yeah. I've heard it, which is pretty awesome. Going through the dividends, all that kind of stuff and so forth.
Hmm.
So that's your approach today. And when you make those calls and somebody answers and you have that dialogue, out of curiosity, what's sort of the percentage of those that are open that set an appointment with you?
Set appointments. I would say out of 5 people, I can probably get two to three.
Okay. Questions about that, guys. I'm just trying to keep this as elementary as possible. It's just picking up the phone call, calling somebody who's done a transaction. So, those of you that are listening to this that are obviously closing deals, what would you ask Jack right now? That's about as simple as it gets. But I see, Mike, you got something on your mind.
Yeah, I noticed he never mentioned EXP.
Hmm.
Okay. So, when that appointment, as you're going down that path, and you set the appointment at any point in time, do you mention it's EXP or they already know that because obviously you're with EXP when you did the deal? Or do you ever
I
bring
think half, I think half the people that kind of know about it, but usually after I set the appointment, right? Because I'm not talking. Well, depends how you look at it, but in my mind, I'm not really talking about oh, come join EXP. I'm here calling you to share with you about this model that we have, this platform that we have. And then, but
Mhm.
if you don't even know what the platform is, like some people they hear EXP, it's like when people hear about Amway, they don't even know what it is. So I want to spend more time. The next call I'm getting into, I'm gonna just get into it, like trying to get to understand where he's at first.
Yeah. Okay.
And I like to go through this square thing, which I learned from Sean. I don't know if you guys heard of this positive future, negative future thingy.
Yeah, you know what? Refresh me. First time I heard Kokoska do it, keep meaning to implement it and then got away from it. Walk us through that. If people have never heard Sean Kokoska walk through this 4 block step, it is pretty cool. So when you sit down with them for that appointment, take just a minute or so, kind of walk people what that sounds like.
Yeah, so when I sit down with him, obviously say hi, do a report, and then I will ask him to rate his own brokerage on a couple of things. But first is the positive present. This is where most people are at because they're satisfied with what they have. Because if they are not satisfied, usually they will do something about it, right? So they will say, "Yeah, my broker is so good. This is good. That's good. What's working out well for you?" Basically, right? That's the positive present. And then if people is in that state, everything's working out well. You bring them to positive future, which is moving to EXP. They're not gonna relate. They're like, "I got it good right now. Why would I want to move?"
Yeah.
Right? So positive present, that's where they're at. You want to bring them to negative present, which is okay. I get that. I know that everything is good for you, but that's currently figure out. I mean, let me rate your brokerage or share with me what are some of the things that you feel like you can improve or what's missing with the model
Okay.
that you have right now. So how is your technology? How's your training, culture? Does the company offer you stocks? Does the company offer you an opportunity to retire or residual income? So usually that rating, the score will be a little bit lower. So that's their negative present. And I want to bring them to negative future. Okay, I get that. How do you feel about that number, the negative present number? And what's going to happen if you don't do any changes down the road? Which is negative future. How would your life look like in 3 to 5 years? Would you be earning like drastically amount of money extra? And then in the negative future, then you start to share with them about EXP. Hey, this is what we can do for you. So I feel that's very helpful. This could work for production as well, actually.
Yeah, yeah. That's good. For those of you that have never listened in to Kokoska, it was Friday. I knew he did a presentation did he still do it every Friday?
Presentation on Friday, but he has a mastermind on Wednesday at 9 o'clock about agent attraction.
Where he teaches about what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's every Wednesday?
9 o'clock Pacific.
9 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, for those who have never heard that might be worth you putting that on your calendar and just going, you can go to, I think it's just SeanKokoska.com. And he's got his stuff all listed there. But that's anyway, that's an interesting way to psychologically walk somebody through positive presence, negative presence, and then you go from a negative future to a positive future. And there's a way that he walks them through that. So anyway, it's, I think, a very good way when I heard him do that to get somebody's mind to open up. If they're having that nice dialogue with you, it does take them to a point now where you've set it up where they're wanting to figure out, how do I get to this positive future that you've now painted a picture for me and can overcome whatever obstacles or challenges they're having. So anyway, thank you for throwing that out. I attended that probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, and just didn't follow all the way through and implement all of it. That's something else that's awesome. So today, your goal now, obviously you're at about 300 plus agents, is to grow to 1,000 agents. And it sounds like you're very good at looking out 5 years, kind of getting your vision and then kind of backtrailing. So do you see yourself having to do anything different than you're doing right now to get to the 1,000 agents, the 2,000? Like, what do you do to maintain your team that you have for retention and then to still grow it? And what do you see yourself doing anything different at all to get to 1,000 agents or 2,000 agents?
I think there are some changes that we start to implement since like 2-3 months ago. Initially, I would just especially first few years, I would attract anybody. If you're new, come. If you're whatever you are, where you are, let's go.
Yeah.
But in the past few months, I told my Daniel, Chief of Growth, that, hey, you know what, let's just focus on productive agents or team leaders. I think that's gonna help me out more. I get to 1,000 and I don't have to babysit that much. I mean, obviously, we still take on new agents.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna chase after new agents. Once I got burned, well, I don't want to say got burned. There are a couple of times that I will work hard to get an new agent to come in, spend a lot of time to train them, help them, and after a few months or even like a year or two, they will leave, which is okay. To understand, they found something better, hopefully. And but that just made me think back. I spent so much time with them. Why? I could have just used this time to attract a productive agent.
Yeah. And that's one of the things we talk about also. If you're going to build rev share, talk to people that are already doing greater than 3 million, doing maybe 10 transactions or greater. Because like you said, sometimes it's just as hard to bring in a brand new agent as it is somebody that's doing 3, 4, 5 million plus. Well, let me open up to the group, you guys. Well, if anything you want to ask right now, let's ask away.
Sure, I think Melvin has a question
on your mind.
I have a question.
Sure.
Go ahead, Melvin.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Jack, for sharing. Good stuff.
My pleasure.
Now, I'm in Los Angeles. What part of LA are you in?
I'm in City and Industry.
Okay, that's not that far. And what would you say the percentage of the 300 people that you have on your team are from Los Angeles or the California area?
Most.
Most of them are?
Yeah, maybe like 90%.
90%. And now you're gonna hire somebody to help you. What will be their job particularly in your revenue share growth?
I hired him already, and when he first came in, I was telling him because after I graduated, I worked for my dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
For like 2 years just to run errand and translate. I never worked for a corporation before, so I don't have that experience. And I learned that if you're gonna hire somebody that has the talent or the experience that I don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So he was in KW for 7 years. So the role that he came in is to help us create system, structure, training, masterminds. That's one part for the retention. And
Mm-hmm.
also he's out there to attract as well for the recruiting. Because this is what I learned from Sean as well. There are 4 parts of agent attraction: recruiting, retention, revenue, and reproduction. The 4 R's. So he's helping me with the first 3. I mean, actually, he could help me with production too. So 4.
Okay. All right. And then you said at your events, we put on events. Matter of fact, we have lunch and learn that we're going to have the third Wednesday of this month. And normally at the end we share information about EXP, but you guys don't do that. You've learned not to do that.
To be honest with you, in the past 3 years, we didn't do that. I still kind of contemplate about it from time to time. Like, should we just throw it in at the end? I think either way could work. It's really you can try it out. I mean, if I were to do it again, maybe do it like an A/B test.
Yeah.
This time do it, next time don't do it, and see what the feedback's.
And last question is your Friday training that you're going to be doing in City of Industry, is that open for everyone?
Yeah, sure.
I like to come to it.
Yeah, we do it at the West San Gabriel Valley Board.
Okay. What, the West End?
West San Gabriel Valley Board.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. My pleasure.
Yeah, and Christy, real quick to answer your question, instead of typing it in, you're talking about the positive presence, negative presence. Go to Sean Kokoska's website. Just go Google Sean Kokoska. It'll come up. Jump to his website, and then go see if you can attend either the Wednesday or the Friday. Because I know when he does his presentation, he even works that in as well. But Wednesday, it sounds like it is a revenue share training that Kokoska does.
Yeah, I think his program is called Icon
How-
Coaching.
How do you spell Kokoska? That's what I don't know.
That is a
There we go.
spell.
Thank you. I see it.
Christy, yeah, it's in the chat.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
and Kathy was wanting me to kind of re-ask you here, Jack.
And I think you did. I think you did. Well, go ahead. You sort of did, but yeah, go ahead. Ask.
Yeah, it just says, have him go back to the script he role played for a month and has the script evolved at all? You know, here you are at present day today. Has your script changed at all here in the last 6 months to a year, or even the last couple of years?
Well, first, initially, remember I was saying that I role played with Jack Tsai?
Yeah.
He was really just he was freestyling it. But it was better than my freestyle, so I decided to copy his freestyle. Initially I just went in directly, hey, has anybody shared with you about EXP? I just go direct straight in. He said, don't beat around the bushes, just go in.
Yeah.
And then start just chatting to see if they're open-minded. That was my initial script. But you kind of evolve to, after I learned Sean, I'm like, that doesn't make sense. This is more about the platform, not about the EXP. So in the past few years, I just use this one. It depends on my mood. Sometimes if it's like somebody that I kind of know pretty well. Actually, I have this one. When I am talking, when agents call me, or when I'm calling them about something else, or if I see them at the open houses, whatever.
Yeah.
I will do this 30-second add-on conversation.
What's that sound?
Basically, imagine if we were at the open house, right? I met you and we're chatting about the house, and nobody else was around. Okay, obviously there's client. I'm not gonna talk about this. I would just be like, hey, since I'm leaving, if you have just 30 seconds, I want to ask you something. And 99% they'll say okay. And I was just going, hey, you know what? Like, well, 5 years ago, I made the change to EXP Realty. Yes, made a dramatic change in my business, my revenue share, not revenue share, my business, my portfolio, and also my residual income. And I want to know, has anybody shared with you about it, and are you open-minded to check out about it?
I love it. I love it. It comes back down to everything we always learn when we're talking to Eric. If you just keep talking to enough people and simply you can be that direct and just ask that simple question. Because if things aren't hitting on all cylinders, they're usually kind of open-minded and they'll take a look. I had an earlier Zoom this morning with Jay Nelson, one of our other gigantic agents over here. Same thing we talked about. If you just talk to enough people, you're going to keep coming across the ones that are open-minded by simply asking them some of those basic questions. So I love it. It's sometimes you come onto these, Jack, and it's so interesting. You're right. You're looking for the silver bullet. You know, I love the way you're laying it out. You're doing nothing different than all of us keep teaching each other. Just make the calls and you can be as direct as you want. Obviously, it helps to build rapport, find out their pain points and all that. But sometimes you can almost go directly right into it and just asking. And has anybody ever taken the time to walk you through the model, the platform that could show you how you can get paid 3 different ways, create a stock portfolio that could help you with your retirement and create passive income at the same time? Has anybody ever done that for you? You're just, you ask the question, you have enough people go, you know what? I thought I knew what EXP was, but I'm not real sure, and they're just open to take a look. So I love what you're sharing, Jack, because it's all just keeping it very simple, making the calls and simply asking the questions. So back to, I'm just curious right now, anybody jump in at any time. You want to go to 1,000 agents because that's a big jump to go from 300 to 1,000. Again, I think what I was starting to ask, anything you're going to do different going forward, like right now, the rest of the year leading into 25, what is your goal? What are you going to be doing to get to that point? That's a huge jump.
I think 3 things. More social media content. And
Okay.
I don't have a website like yours, which is really beautiful and professional. Like the one I checked out on the link that you have in your email.
Yeah.
I'm gonna create that and do more marketing
Okay.
and reach out to more top agents.
And do you focus in your general area out there in California, or do you pick certain cities and states and kind of focus on them? How do you
So
decide what to
far,
do?
just locally, but we want to go out of state as well. We're not gonna go just random places. But so far mainly just locally. We have about, I think, brokers and agents, about 400,000 agents in California.
It
So
seems
I
lost for the rest
technically,
of your life.
yeah, yeah. I think I want to share something that was helpful for me, especially the first year or so. When we first started, because I know Sean, you also started you started before me. We needed 40 FLQAs to unlock those 7 tiers. Right now, we just do 30, right? So when I first started, I was like, if I'm only gonna spend 10% of my time on agent attraction, I don't expect myself to get to 40 the first year. I was like, it's gonna take me a couple of years, so probably 4 or 5 years. And if that's the case, 5 years, 40, I just need to get 8 agents. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I think we can do that. But I forgot that agent leave too. So it takes me more than 5 years.
Yeah.
What really helped me out was first year in, when I first started to see John's check and then start to listen to more agent attraction calls. And I saw him post on his IG that he went to EXPCon or something, like a shareholder with a couple of top agents whom I know from my career. I'm like, where did you go? How come you didn't invite me? And then he's like, okay, next time I'll invite you for sure. So I went to the next event, and like what Sean was sharing earlier, at big events, you really make big decisions. You start to meet other people who has a couple thousand agents under them, and they're really helpful and they want to help you out. So definitely, I mean, October, we have maybe like 20, 30 people that will go from our group, maybe like another 50 from John's side's group. And those are great places where you can not only just learn about agent attraction, but also production and build relationship. But what really helped me out was, I remember I was at my old house. I was at the office listening to the call. And after the agent attraction call, he's training, I was thinking, okay, this is cool. But I feel there's something missing. I was like, I don't think it's about me knowing more about just the script and the process. I'm like, yes, that's important for me to understand the EXP model. I should know it so I can speak it, right? So I'm like, at that part, I need to know. But also though, after I talk to people, even if I were able to explain the model to them, why would they want to follow me? I mean, why would 150, 100 people want to work with Jack? So that was the moment I was like, you know what? I need to be a better communicator. I need to be better at leading people or mentoring people. So I need to be a better person, a stronger person. So I started to take more personal development classes. I would just, whenever I went into a situation, I would, because I'm pretty close with John, talk to him every week, almost every day. And I would be, every time when I run into a certain situation, I'm like, I don't know what I should be doing for this situation. So I'll be like, why don't I ask John what he would do? Because he's very wealthy. And I learned that if I think like a multimillionaire, if I do what a multimillionaire would do, I will have what they have. So after I did that for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, I think whenever I ran into any situation, I would just think, oh, this is what I kind of know what he's gonna tell me already. I'm like, I'm just gonna do that.
So if I'm not mistaken, Kathy, is that who you're coaching with also? Who are you coaching with, Kathy? It's not John Tsai?
Oh, here at EXP?
Yeah, yeah.
John Pugh.
Oh, okay.
And John Pugh and Mayor.
Okay. But Kathy, you've gotten a lot, right? So it's you and Kelly and so forth, a lot from the coaching.
Only been a month and a half, so it's fairly new, but they're all about duplication in your group. So they're great. They're really all about, and one of the things that they talk about is, and we've been talking about for the last 3 calls, is who are you getting in your group, to go to EXP Con? Because like you said, Jack, that's where big decisions are made for people. And not only that, but they're getting their hands on with the culture and what have you. So it's not only getting your group there. And I agree, I've been doing real estate for a long time, and I always go to my company big events. I mean, I've been at EXP since 2017, but I was at KW, right? And always went to family reunion when I was there. And it is important to plug in, and why more agents don't really take advantage of that. I think it's the money scarcity mindset that people have around that. But I'm like, if you go with the mentality of I'm going to make some connections with some agents and I'm going to get enough referrals, which is only 1 or 2, that more than pays for what you paid for the event, and then all the other extra benefit that you get with that. But also the other thing they talk about is take a guest, get your organization there, talk about retention, all that. That's huge for that. But then also get guests there. What guests that aren't with EXP already that you can get, get 2 guests minimum to go with you. So those are huge. I did have a couple of questions, Jack. First of all, what systems specifically are you having your guys set up for you, the one you just recently hired? That's an area that I feel like I could really get better at as well with systems. What specifically are you having them set up?
Yeah, so my personality type, I'm a high I. What that means is I'm not organized at all. So the system that I'm having to build up currently, we're gonna look into this one called Motion, because I think once we got our office, there are just more projects or more events, there are ideas that we want to implement, but there are just so many, right? And we have me, my wife, a buyer agent, we hired an assistant, and this guy named Daniel, who's the chief of growth, and we also have a VA. So I see that a lot of the problem that we have is this person got something done that the person doesn't know, or this person forget. So this Motion software is you can help us project manage better. And not only that, I mean, like in the past few months, we've been just getting like really reaching out to the agents to make sure that they come to the event. And also we actually had an affiliate program prior to Daniel joining us, but he fine-tuned it.
Yeah, I think, have you ever used the Trello? Because I think they do it. That does a lot of that project management, doesn't it?
It does. I also did some research. Trello is great. We've been using it for a couple of years. I mean, my wife, I don't like to look at Trello. But This motion app supposedly you can auto move your calendar because there's a built-in AI in there.
Oh,
We're still in this exploring stage, so that's what we're going to be talking about later, actually.
So the other question I have is, as Sean was reading your bio and sort of your vision for your team to create, how many people, how many agents is your vision in helping them create $250,000 or more? What
Right
number?
now I put 100.
Okay.
Right, that's right now.
So what systems or what do you have in place? Because I love that. I love that idea of, helping agents create X dollars. Like, what are you doing specifically to help agents create that, to get 1,000 or 100 agents to create $250,000 more?
So our EXP group, I actually named it EXP North Star. And you guys know what North Star is. It's basically every time when people get lost, especially when they're in the jungle, they can look at it, they know which direction to go. And the reason why we named that, because I feel like a lot of agents, including myself at times, we feel lost. We're like, oh, what do I do next? So much to do. I want to have that clarity. And so basically, to answer your question, I'm sure everybody here on this call find client different way. Some people prospect, some people door knock, cold call, or do videos, do events. All these are great ways, open houses. But it's about there. I don't believe that there's a one size fits all. Like for instance, if Mike doesn't like to prospect, make phone calls, then go do something else to find something that works for you. Maybe just do more open houses then. So to help people get to 250, my plan is to help them build this roadmap. First of all, okay, this is what you want. And I'm sure Sean, you also mentioned on the prior call, this also can work for agent attraction. The most important thing is, why do you want it? So find out what they want, why do they want it, why is that important to them, and then figure out what are some of the ways that I give them like a list. Those are all the things that we can chat GPT it too. All these are ways that you can find business as a real estate agent.
Do you set everybody down like one-on-one and do that? Like kind of going back to the systems, right? Plan. It's like, okay, finding out what they want, but then giving them that roadmap so are you having individual meetings with every one of your frontline or within your organization? Or are you just saying, hey, we've got these roadmaps, what do you want? Here's ways to prospect, whatever. And you just sort of plug them in and let them go. Or I guess my question really is, do you have a full system in place that they're each individually, the 100 that are saying, yeah, I want the 250. Do you have the plan and the system that you've got them plugged into, like along the path?
Yeah. So we do it quarterly, like a group meeting like this.
Group meeting.
Also, when agent get on board with us, there is a step in there that Daniel will walk this through with them on creating that plan. And then if there are some people that just missed the step or who joined before, I will sit down with them if they reach out to me.
Mm-hmm. Got it. I love that, because I think it's all bigger than ourselves. We're all trying to get to X place, but then it's who can you bring with that wants to go? I don't want to force people to do anything, but the ones that are hungry and want it, whether it be the rev share, whether it be more business or combination of both of those. I love, and that's a system that I feel like we do a lot with the Freedom team, and we plug them into, and encourage them to come. And a lot of people, do come every, 4 days a week, we have something going on. But for me, I feel like I want even a more succinct system to guide people, to guide people on the path from 0 to another 250 or whatever that number is.
It's not easy. I know because we experienced that. I also talked to one of my sponsor, Chris Bear. First of all, I want to acknowledge everybody for showing up on this call. I really do believe that showing up is more than 50% of the game. And this is where, and it's not easy hosting events live or on Zoom and have everybody participate and ask questions. So that's amazing. But I chat about this with my sponsor who has about 2,000 agents under him as well. He said that's also a challenge for him, getting people on the Zoom.
Yeah. Yeah, I've learned that from everybody. I think we've all talked about it, whether it's Jane Kinder and them with 10,000 plus, and they'll do Zooms and they'll still get 20 on.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I like what you're saying. And there's most of the people on here are the same ones who show up every week for the most part. Probably 80% on here show up every week. And I appreciate that, guys. To add one thing to what he's saying, if all we did was everybody just did their very best to bring one person on your team to plug into whichever one you think they need the most, right? Is it Tuesday? Because I even love the Wednesdays. Sometimes they're phenomenal. Other times they've been kind of pretty good, but every once in a while that thing will get rolling. Wednesday, we do what we call connect to collaborate. We just added that one, Jack, about 4 months ago. And to come on, and it ends up being 90% production talk, but a lot of times it's about what just got trained on Tuesday by one of our icon agents. And then we usually talk a lot about that on Wednesday, or people just come with challenges. And you've got veterans on there that are helping answer those questions. And I invite guests there because a lot of times the guests will come on, and if they see, like you're saying, the interaction between 5, 8, 10 agents, everybody's kind of helping each other and going, here's what I would do. And there's some agents who get off and talk to them after like, wow, okay, we don't do that at my brokerage. I don't have people that are willing to help me. And so everybody keep that in mind. I know we preach that all the time, but inviting prospects who are open-minded to just come sit in on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and just to see what that's like, because mostly what I hear, that does not happen at other brokerages. Or maybe it's a 1 day a week thing or once a month thing, and they got to go into the office and that kind of thing. So anyway, we've got another 2 minutes left. Maybe anybody got one more pressing question for Jack? All good? All right, Jack, man, we sincerely appreciate you. Listen, I'm going to be your biggest support, brother. I hope you go to 1,000 agents. Maybe you and I'll be talking here next year or 2 years from now. I'll have you back on again to see what the heck you've been doing to grow it like you have. So congratulations again. Once I get the recording, I'll email it over to you if you want to do anything with social media. Other than that, again, thank you everybody for showing up. You guys know the drill. We've got tomorrow. Kathy, I don't have it in front of me. What's tomorrow's training? You're on
Good things about this. Austin Chevron, he's going to be coming on, and hang on a minute. I got the actual thing right in front of me. It's building wealth as a real estate agent. So it's going to be, he did this for another group, and that one of my team members is a part of as well. And, Jamie Parker, who's a 5-time icon, and Jamie raved about how good this class was. So it should be great. So this will be a great one to just get your team plugged into tomorrow. So perfect. 10 o'clock, same link.
You got it. Thanks, Kat, for sharing.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you, everybody. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Jack,
Thank you, Jack.
Congrats on your success, buddy.
Thanks,
We
Jack.
appreciate it.
Very nice meeting everybody.
Freedom Team.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye-bye,
Sean.
gang.
Thank you, Kathy.